transgender lawsuit trial that's going on in Little Rock right now. Our incumbent governor vetoed legislation that is now being tried in federal court. He said the bill went too far. Had you been governor at that time, would you have sided with him, or do you think the bill should have actually passed?
Who was that to?
Mr. Jones.
Yes. We use issues like transgender care and health care as divisive political punching bags. There's a child at the end of that conversation. There's a family at the end of that conversation. I don't question either one of my opponents' love for their family. I don't question their desire to make the decisions for their children. And I wouldn't question any other Arkansans. What we have to do is make sure we're loving each other. So as a scientist and as a minister and as an engineer, I would listen to what the science says and make sure that we're allowing parents and families to make the key decisions that they need.
Mr. Harrington.
First off, it shouldn't have even made it out of committee, in my opinion. I would have vetoed it, just like Governor Hutchinson did, to answer the question directly. We live in a free society. People have the right to self-determination. People have the right to live their life the way that they want to, as long as it is not doing harm to anybody else. Our government, especially our legislature, has continued to pass laws that are getting struck down as unconstitutional, regulating people's personal choices and their behaviors. Now, going back to this child gender-affirming care, some people say that it might be abuse. That might be their opinion, but we have physicians, we have doctors, we have imams, psychologists, rabbis, priests that can help those families to make that decision. And it is their decision to make, not a politician's.
Ms. Sanders, 1 minute.
One of the most important, and frankly, one of the most basic roles of government is to protect the citizens, particularly those who can't protect themselves, like kids. I would have supported this legislation, and I would have signed it, because we have to do a better job of protecting the kids in this state and frankly across the country. Kids are not capable of making life-altering decisions like that. There's a reason we have laws in place that protect kids from driving before the age of 16, voting before the age of 18, before we allow them to make decisions about smoking and drinking and wearing a seatbelt, because they are not capable of making adult decisions at that age. And we need to do a better job of making sure we not only protect them in this instance, but across the board. We can and must do a better job, and it is the most basic fundamental role of government.
Mr. Jones, 30 seconds.
Kids are not able to make that decision, but parents are. And I trust parents, and I trust parents to listen to their physician and make the best decision that they can for their children. It is not an easy, straightforward issue. It's complex and complicated, and we have to trust parents. When we talk about the issues as if they're some fly-by-night thing. I agree with Mr. Harrington. I would certainly have done what Governor Hutchinson did and sign it and make sure that we don't strip away those powers and rights from parents.
Mr. Harrington.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Dr. Jones. Are my children, or do they belong to the government? Who knows best on how to raise a child, your child, that you spent countless nights whenever they were sick? You are the one who's taken care of those children. Who has a better idea of how to take care of your children, the government or do you? We need to filter this idea right here through all the things that we do in our state and in this government. Who has the better idea?
Time, Mr. Harrington. Ms. Sanders, back to you for 30.
As I stated, one of the most important jobs that we have is to protect people. Protecting our kids, not just in this instant, but across the board. We have to do a better job of dealing with the out-of-control crime that is absolutely ravaging our cities. Right now, Little Rock, Arkansas is considered one of the most dangerous cities in all of America. I want my kids to be safe. I want every kid in Arkansas to be safe. And this means taking big steps to do exactly that. And that's the type of focus that I'll have when I'm governor.